Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Denver, Colorado. Super fun one today, super important, especially for where the market's at right now, especially as busy as it is. Should you rent or buy in Denver, Colorado?
2021. Let's go. What's up, guys? We are the Mile High Property Brothers. I am Eli Schmidt. This is my business partner, Will Grimes. And if it's your first time visiting our channel, guys, we come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday, and we tell you everything there is to know about moving to or living in the Denver, Colorado area. So if you have not done so yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that every time Will and Eli pop up with a new video, you find out about it.
Absolutely. Guys, and we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado, so as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you with your real estate needs. So the number popping up, the email popping up, we are the guys who answer the phone calls, we are the guys who text message back, and we are the guys who respond to the emails. So if there is something that you guys need or that's pertinent, please reach out. We'd love to help you guys. But with that being said, hopefully this helps you out. This is a huge one today. We've got a lot of emails about this one, a lot of text messages about this one. And it's like, man, should we rent or buy in Denver, Colorado, 2021? The answer, we're going to dive into it, but the answer is both. It could be buying right away. It could be, hey, maybe renting depending on your circumstances, or it could be temporarily renting in order to get into your buy. We're going to cover that, but first, nothing. Happy Friday.
The anticipation. He got me.
It's a Friday today, even though you're seeing this on a Tuesday or a Thursday. You're probably seeing it on a Tuesday. We're having a happy Friday.
Yeah,
we actually just closed today with a great client of ours from YouTube. His name's Mike. We're going to leave it at that due to what he does for work. We've got to keep it non-disclosed, but phenomenal closing. We are so proud of this one. He's a gentleman. Went to the Boulder area.
Yep,
Super cool. He's been on my mind. He's been on my heart today. I've been thinking a lot about him, so it's just a happy Friday. You guys are probably seeing this on a Tuesday. I digress. Let's get right into it.
So to start off, guys, there's a couple factors that I want to bring up in the discussion about should we rent or should we buy, because there's a couple things going on right now with interest rates and with the Colorado market that should weigh heavily as far as your decision making on renting versus buying. So those two factors that we want to go over are interest rates are still historic lows. Sounds cliche. You've probably seen all your friends that are in some form of real estate on Facebook talking about interest rates. It's for a good reason. Right now, they're still at the high 2s or very low 3s, or right at 3%. So when you're looking at low interest rates, why is that important? If you've never owned a home or gotten a mortgage before, you may not understand why low interest rates are as important as they are. Because, guys, when financing is that cheap, and 3% is very, very, very cheap. When financing is that cheap, that means you can afford a much more expensive home for a much lower monthly payment.
Right. Everything breaks down to debt to income ratio, right?
Yes.
So if you got a high interest rate and $500 a month is going to interest, well, that's still counting toward what you can afford on the overall monthly payment.
Yep.
So if it's $500 cheaper, that gives you that much more money that can go to a principal, as in value of a home, right? So that allows you to go from affording a $500,000 house to maybe a $600,000 house, right? Give or take. I'm shooting from the hip here with some of these numbers, but
you're right.
It opens that door a lot to be able to afford a lot more house, or just have if you don't need more house, you can be in that $400 or $500 or that $600, $700. You don't have to go any higher. It allows you to have a lot less payment as far as your guys' mortgage.
And the other factor, too, that we have to take into consideration is the rate of appreciation that Colorado's market is seeing right now. So last year, on average, and this is real number, on average, we saw homes appreciate 16%. In the past, some neighborhoods have done 16%, some neighborhoods have done 4%. Colorado's market as a whole has done 16% across the board.
So we're gonna do the math for you right here
Let's
on this
do some
camera
math
in
here.
real time.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just say a $600,000 house.
Okay, so we're purchasing a $600,000 house.
Times 16%, $96,000.
So what does that mean?
Your house appreciated $96,000 over the course of 12 months.
Yep, 1 year, guys. What job could you do that would give you, for doing the same job you're going to do anyway, give you a $96,000 raise within 1 year?
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Secondly to that, right? Homes, especially in Colorado, right? 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, it was flying off the market. Oh my God, these are crazy. You got to buy now. It was a great time to buy, right? Or it's a great time to sell. These prices are so great. True. Guess what? 2.5 years later, here we are. Everyone is saying the same thing. What do you think is going to happen in Colorado in another 3 years? They're going to be even higher, and there's going to be even more value. So the sooner that you do buy, even though people are calling this a seller's market and, hey, sellers are making all the money, there is still so much room for growth and equity here in Colorado. Buying sooner than later, buying now, or as close to now as you can, versus 2 years from now, you're not missing out on all of that equity. However, this kind of comes down to your situation. We have a lot of people that are in a position where they can buy sight unseen. We go through, we FaceTime, we video walk through, and we find the areas that they like. We find a home that they love. They pull the trigger on it. They're good to go and they're flexible. If you guys have not seen our video on how to get to Denver and how to actually buy here, we've got a great video. Matter of fact, I'll make sure Eli puts this in the link below so you guys can watch that video. But we talk about logistically just getting yourself here. A second option is, hey, we're just not in a position where we can do that overnight, right? Or we got to get there and we got to see what's going on. You can Airbnb and rent temporarily. We've had several clients from YouTube Airbnb for a couple of months or for a month, and it gives us time to commit to go looking at areas. And because of how competitive the market is right now, it gives you time to just be here. And every weekend or every week, we're out looking at homes and we're pulling the trigger on offers until we finally find the one that you want, and we win and we land that offer. Being here permanently allows you to be a lot more committed to all the boots on deck type of work that's needed if you guys want to be involved. And then thirdly is just signing a long-term rent. If you want to go for a year, for 6 months, we suggest if you want to buy, just commit to 6 months on a rental, right? Because a lot of these times when you're winning an offer, when you go offer to buy a home, the people selling it, they need what's called a post-occupancy, which is 30 to 60 days of them renting the home back from you after you buy it so they can go find their home. Well, if you've got a 6-month apartment, right? Apartment lease, we take a month and a half to find it. Cool, we find it. You've got a 30-day close plus 60 days of someone renting that back from you because they need it so they can go find their home.
That's 4 or 5 months right there.
Already. So a short-term lease, 6 months, is also a great window. Obviously, this is specific. Some folks that did the short-term lease idea, phenomenal idea. They got families. They had to get kids established in school. They had to get them back, and they actually moved from out of country. They moved from Australia. So they had to get kids registered in school. Wife was going back to work this following week, so it was like, hey, we don't have more time to keep risking it. We've got to get our family established. So they got an apartment in the number one area that they like the most, knowing they're going to be looking for homes in that area, which happens to be Douglas County, right? So cool. So now they're in that area. Now we can really dedicate some time to looking and pulling the trigger on offers and finding that right home and winning the right home for them. However, in the process of that, right, they still have their apartment, their stability. Kids are in school, they can catch their breath, and they have a home base. It's not just a temporary Airbnb. So Airbnb is great for 30 days or 60 days. If it's going to be any longer than that, it's not a problem renting an apartment and just allowing you to be here, be present, and be committed and dedicated to what it takes to win in this market.
Yes, and a couple other factors that may make you lean more towards renting or more towards buying. If you're just not in a situation where you have no money saved up and you don't have any money for down payment, don't think you need 20%. 3 to 5% down is more than fine on a home. But if you don't even have that, then yes, you may need to come out here, establish some employment, get some savings put in place before you can purchase.
Yes, and if you have a lot of money to give down, hey, we're going to give $100,000 down, or we're going to give 20% down. A lot of homes are going for over asking price. And if they don't appraise, sometimes a buyer has to bring that gap, which is called an appraisal gap. So if you're offering on a home that's $700 and you offer $740, but it only appraised for $720, you have funds to cover that gap. Well, instead of putting 20 or 25% down, interest rates are so low, you can still put 10 or 5 or 3% down. and take some of that money that you've got saved up and apply it toward the appraisal gap to win the home. Right, so there's different ways as far as like how you navigate an offer to make sure that first and foremost, doesn't matter how much you're putting down on a home if you don't have a home to put it down on.
Right.
So first things first is winning that offer, winning the home. Secondly, if a gap is needed, put it there. But interest rates are so low, you don't have to put 25 or 30% down to get a payment where you want it when interest rates are low. Do the math on that, right? So it's being creative, and hopefully you guys are working with us. If you're not, making sure you're working with someone professional. Obviously, we'd love to help you with your real estate needs, but it's this type of commitment and professionalism and ability to navigate offers and how they're structured to win you guys a home, to make sure that you are where you want to be and you guys are enjoying the Colorado experience.
And lastly, some of the hesitation that some of you guys have expressed as far as buying a house is that you're under the assumption that it's going to be a 10-year commitment for you, right? With our market appreciating the way it is, and there's no signs of that slowing down in the near future whatsoever. It's going to keep going. There's not going to be a dip. There's not going to be a crash or even a stabilization, in my opinion. I think our market is just going to slowly and steadily keep climbing up and up and up.
Well, here,
but
let's have that conversation.
Okay.
Take $96,000 divided by 2. So even if the appreciation gets cut in half and it's only 8% appreciation, which is still historically high, you'd be at $48,000 of equity in the home after 12 months instead of 96.
So point being, even if you're only there for, let's say, 2 years, maybe it's not your ideal home, maybe it's not your ideal city, and you're working towards ideal. Instead of waiting and renting for 2 years, having things just appreciate 16 more percent, and then being able to afford less house when the time's to buy, you can get into a place for 2 years, make that money, get that equity, take that, leverage that to buy something else in the future, guys. Don't think that buying a house means you got to be there for 10 or 15 years.
And don't think that if you choose to rent, it's because, we just want to make sure we like the area before we buy. Well, renting is the same thing. You got to live there to figure out if you're going to like it. Let's put our business hat on. Let's find the areas that have great appreciation. And if you're going to dive in and have a top 3 area choices, let's dive into one of them and make sure you're a homeowner there. That way, after 2 or 3 years, if you're like, hey, it's not our favorite, we want to explore something else, you guys are capitalizing on your equity. You take that equity into wherever you're going next and building that book of business through your real estate. So make sure you put that business hat on. And again, make sure whether it's us or someone else, hopefully it's us, they're in it to win it and they can understand the professional side, the business side, and they're navigating contracts and areas and getting you to understand the appreciation and the business side of real estate in addition to the home ownership and the pleasurability and enjoying Colorado.
100%. That's all I got.
That's all we got today, guys. Real wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Just some really good points for you guys. Again, Eli's going to put the link in the text below for that other video on logistically how we get you guys here to Colorado and how we've done handfuls of clients already to get you guys here. So we'll put that. Make sure you watch that. But again, guys, as much as we love making these videos, we would absolutely love more to help you with your real estate needs. So this number popping back up are the guys who answer the phone calls, the text messages. We are the guys who respond to those emails. But for now, it's Tuesday probably, but it's Friday.
Tuesday. Or whatever the hell day you're watching.
So make it whatever day it is. Make it a great day. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We look forward to helping you guys with your needs.
See you guys.
Take care.